Hello Boro fans, A.J.T here. Today I thought I'd do a video on my Boro Ultimate Team, just based on the best 11 I could come up with, or should I say my all-time best 11 players that played for Middlesbrough, and I taught you through exactly the players that I picked and to why these players are in my Ultimate 11. So I've gone for a basic 4-4-2 with a diamond in the middle, and I've also got 4 subs and a manager, but don't worry, I get into all of them later on in the video. You have to be very, very patient to check out who I put on the bench to who didn't make the team. But starting in goal for me, obviously don't get me wrong, I was born in 1994, and obviously I supported the Boro from 94 right through, went to my first game in 97, so you've got to bear with me that if there's some players out there that obviously, you know, a lot of Boro fans are slating me for not putting in the team, it's because at the time, obviously, you know what I mean, obviously it could be the fact that I've never seen him play or whatever, so bear with me, don't hate me too much, but let's get into it. Mark Schwartz is the goalkeeper I'm going to pick, and I think a lot of Boro fans will pick this one as well. This guy I watched growing up. I also bought the yellow goalkeeper's kit, the BT Sellernet one back in the day, because I love Mark Schwartz, man, the big Aussie as many people called him. He obviously went to the Carling Cup final with us as well. For me, Mark Schwartz had a game of his life at the Carling Cup final. Unbelievable. Unfortunately for him, Boro did go for the UEFA Cup final as well, and I think he had the worst game of his life there. Obviously, he had the face mask on and whatnot. It was a shame for him, but yeah, Mark Schwartz, all in all, one of my favourite, well, should I say my all-time favourite Boro goalkeeper. That's why he's in my squad. Back four. Now, a lot of people might disagree with who I picked here, but for right back, it was going to be Luke Young. Luke Young was going to get the place, but Michael Reisinger for me was a different gravy as a right back. He was a fantastic right back. Growing up watching this guy play was unbelievable. I even went for a left back position instead of right back, and I'm left footed in my school 11 in my primary school. I didn't last very long, I lasted one game and got kicked out of the team, but it's not the point. The point is Michael Reisinger was a fantastic right back for me, and I always remember the game that he played against Birmingham City, and he came out, he didn't look bothered. But I think, you know, Michael Reisinger for me probably had one of the best games ever played for Boro in that game. Just for the basic run down the right wing, ball in the box for Duke scored from an impossible angle and put it in the back of the net. And we went on to beat Birmingham 3-0 that night. Michael Reisinger, my all-time favourite right back. My 2 centre-backs now. The first one is the guy that lifted the Carling Cup for us. He was a fantastic player. The best Boro defender, or should I say one of the best Boro defenders I've seen in my whole lifetime. I don't know who's going to come in to fill his shoes. Honestly, I think, or should I say his boots. He was unbelievable, man. You've already guessed it. It's Gareth Southgate. This guy was unbelievable. Growing up as a kid, do you know what I mean? Whenever I go to the Riverside, I wanted to see one player, and it was Gareth Southgate at the back. I loved watching him, man. I loved watching him for Boro. And now that he's England manager, it's fantastic, and I'm so proud of what he's achieved from going and lifting the Carling Cup, achieving what he achieved at Boro, and potentially this summer lifting up the World Cup with England. I mean, it could happen. It could happen. So if he does that, what an achievement for Mr. Southgate. But on a serious level, I loved him, man. He was fantastic. And seeing him lift up that Carling Cup, you know, oh my, honestly, it still sends shivers down my neck. What a player. Next to him, it's a player from our current team. It's the only player I could pick from our current team to put in this one. Ben Gibson. A young leader is what I would call him. One day he will be Boro captain. Obviously at the minute it's Grant Ledbetter, but I do believe if this guy stays on Boro and doesn't go for any big money offers, he will be a star. He will be a fantastic legend at this football club. Like I said, Ben Gibson this season, yeah, okay, Ben Gibson might not be having the best season. Last season I thought he was fantastic. I was there for when he scored his debut. Or should I say, yeah, I was there. I was there when Ben Gibson scored his first ever goal for Middlesbrough against Huddersfield. Sat in the south stand for it. Yeah, I love Ben Gibson, man. Well, at the minute he's my favourite Boro player, but like I say, Ben Gibson, man, he has to be in the team. Left back, and like I said, a lot of people might not know who this guy is, especially if they're new, or should I say, young supporters of Middlesbrough Football Club. But I met this guy in the W.H. Smith back in the day when I was about 8 years old. My dad took me down to W.H. Smith in Redcar. We met him and Mark Schwartz. The guy is Dean Gordon. I love Dean Gordon, man, as a left back, and that's the position I actually chose to play at school, was left back, because of Dean Gordon and Michael Reisinger as well. I love Dean Gordon, man. What a player. Just, you know, growing up watching Dean Gordon, it got that much of a bromance for me and him. I even got him on my Facebook. I love Dean Gordon, man. What a left back he is, and I should say was. He even played for England as well. Yeah, Dean Gordon, today he left is a day I cried for many, many days, man. I love Dean Gordon a bit. My midfield now, and this is where it got a little bit tricky for me, because there's a lot of players that I wanted to put in, a lot of players that I couldn't put in. But I'm going for the diamond, and we're going to go for the player just sitting in front of the back four, and it's my all-time favourite Boro player. No Boro player touches this play for me. Paul Ince. He was my favourite Boro player going. And on a match day, I used to shave all my hair off. I used to put into the back of my head, especially with a squad number just underneath his name on the back of my head, spray paint it on. I loved Paul Ince. I loved him to bits, and I still do, man. I think Paul Ince, what a guy, and what a player for Middlesbrough. I always remember the goal he scored against Leeds in the second half, and he picked it up, and it bounced off the floor and it went in, just in front of the north stand. Paul Ince, unbelievable player. My right midfielder now, he came from Europe, he came from Spain, he played for Valencia. It's Mendy. I mean, his goal against Manchester United when Boro beat him 4-1. That first goal, he just got it and he just put it straight in within 2 minutes. Mendy, what a player he was. You know, unbelievable in Europe. He was a fantastic player. The fact that Boro got him and the fact that he produced what he produced for Middlesbrough was unbelievable. So seeing him play for Middlesbrough was unbelievable. And being part of that Carling Cup winning team as well. Mendy, fantastic. Left midfield, the guy that got slated when he first came to Middlesbrough, but everyone soon loved him. Bolo Zenden. Of course, he left us to go to Liverpool, but before he went to Liverpool, Bolo Zenden for me was class. He came from Chelsea, and he was just an unbelievable left player. Obviously left winger. Obviously, we had Stuart Down in there as well. Stuart Down was hitting his prime at the time, but Bolo Zenden, unbelievable, man. Watching this guy on the left wing was unreal. Yeah, quality player. My attacking midfielder now, the one that sits at the front of the diamond. There's many players that I wanted to put in this position, but I couldn't put anyone else in except Janino. This was a bit of a scratch of a head for me, and like I say, it was a hard choice because growing up for me, I seen sort of the back end of Janino, but I also seen a lot of these other players that got on the bench come in as well. But Janino was a talent, part of the Carling Cup winning team as well. A lot of these are, but Janino, watching him was something else. I even went to the return game that he had years ago when he came back. And he came on for like 10 minutes and tried to produce some magic, and unfortunately sort of lost his touch over the years. But when this guy was in his prime, when this guy played for Middlesbrough week in week out, it was just magic. No word, I can't put words together to describe how good this guy was. Like I say, if you didn't play for your football club out there, you've missed out on a proper talent, because this guy from Middlesbrough was just on something else. Janino, Sao Paulo, Brazil. When he said that especially in the song, when he sang that inside the song "Let's Dance," and yeah, Janino, man, what a talent. My two strikers, and it got a little bit hard for me because there's so many great strikers, the likes of Yakubu, the likes of Viduka, the likes of Malcolm Christie. I'm joking, not Malcolm Christie, but the likes of Viduka and whatnot. We had some great strikers over the years. We had some fantastic strikers, just blessed with great strikers at Middlesbrough. These two strikers, it was hard to fill in, but I had to put them in because these two are my all-time favourites. The first one, this guy used to copy his celebrations in school, inside the school playground, whenever I scored on my lunchtime break. It's Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink. He was class. Jimmy Floyd, he was an unbelievable player for Middlesbrough. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink. The day he left, I was gutted. Obviously, he went to Charlton. He scored against Boro, and Boro came back and beat him. But Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink, I can't put words to him, man. This guy was unbelievable. And as a kid, growing up and wanting to play for Middlesbrough, obviously, as every single kid does, a dream of being that one player, that one striker you would dream of being. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink. His free kick that took us to Europe. Obviously, Mark Swarter saved it as well. Saved Robbie Fowler's penalty, but that free kick right at the bar went in. Everything about him, and I still remember the day he signed and all the excitement, especially around my house and everywhere else in Middlesbrough. Everyone was buzzing on Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink come to Teesside. So, great player. And the one next to him, I think is all I know, is the white feather. Ravanelli, man, what a player! What a player! That 3-3 against Liverpool, especially when he got his hat trick. Fabrizio Ravanelli, what a player. I'm going to go into my bench now, and these players, these four individuals, didn't make it into the team because of the team I've got now. If you agree with my starting 11, let me know in the comments. But if you, let me know your starting 11 in the comments as well. I should say your ultimate all-time 11. Obviously, my manager, before I go into my subs, was going to be Steve McClaren, most successful Middlesbrough manager. Obviously, took us to the Carling Cup final. Went on to get the England job, but didn't do so well. But obviously, won things over in Holland as well, FC20 and whatnot. But the four that didn't quite make the team is Emerson. He was a player. He was an unbelievable player. Emerson, the goal against Sunderland, away from home. What an absolute bullet. Christian Karambou and Alan Boxic. Now, them two, funny story. Once went to a service station and I went to the toilet next to him. Yeah, them two alone. Boxic was one of my favourite players growing up. But Paul Ince takes the win. The Boxic was unbelievable, I thought. Even though he used to go missing halfway through a season, he was still great. And obviously Christian Carambou, it was just Christian Carambou. I loved him to bits. And then George Boateng, can't forget about him. Like I say, he was an absolute immense player as well. Like I say, Boro have had some unbelievable players over the years. You know, the Paul Merson, the Ziga, even though he didn't win to Liverpool. We had some unbelievable talent in the Riverside. You know, we've been blessed over the years to watch some unbelievable players, including Michael Ricketts. So like I say, I'm Bernie Slaven. I'm only jumping about the Michael Ricketts, but I say Bernie Slaven. You know, just unbelievable players over the years, real talent. And I say, it's been an honour as a Boro fan to watch some of these players play for Middlesbrough. And who can forget Hugo Egiog as well? Rest in peace, Hugo Egiog. But who can forget about him? Another fantastic centre back that played for Middlesbrough alongside Gareth Southgate. But yeah, this has been my Boro Ultimate 11. Alright, Boro fans, just need to tell you about a competition that we are currently running on our Facebook page, BoroFanTV. Basically, if you didn't know about it already, we're giving away 2 free season tickets at the end of the season. Like I say, the closing date is in May. So I say end of the season, as I already said. But pretty much, if you win the season ticket, you could be watching Premier League football next season. Depending on if Boro get promoted. If you don't, obviously it's going to be Championship football. But as well as giving away the 2 free season tickets as well, we're also throwing in a load of other stuff. So I'll get to them now and I'll read them off now because there's quite a lot to get through. But basically, we're giving away 2 free vouchers. I should just say 2 vouchers of a tour of the Riverside Stadium, where Middlesbrough have to play their home games. We're giving away a £25 voucher inside the Boro shop. If you don't know what it is, it's obviously at the Riverside Stadium. We're giving away 2 coaching sessions at Premier Player Football Academy. That's quite a tongue twister, that one, you know. 2 vouchers for a meal at Manjaro's restaurant. It's probably one of the best restaurants in Middlesbrough, to be honest. A £25 game voucher inside the town. And a BFTV goodie bag. So all that in there. It took me a while to get it out because I tell you what, there's some tongue twisters in there. But I say after you go to our Facebook page and see all that as well, go to our YouTube channel, click subscribe, and then you're entered. That's it. So good luck to every single Boro fan out there and other fans out there if you just want to go and watch a Boro. And like I say, if you win, congratulations. But like I say, this has been your boy A.J.T. That's been my Boro Ultimate Team Best 11. And I'll see you guys again soon. Up the Boro.